your cryotubes are opening, and you see Andromeda there. Her usual arrangement, and she is there to help you all get up.
All right, I sit up and start throwing water bottles out to everybody, like I usually do.
Back to it.
Yep. Drop everything cool while we were out this time?
Yeah, everything's good. All systems go. No problems to report. We are all set.
So you had a chance to, work with that new arm. Everything going well with that?
Oh yeah. I'm as good as new.
Awesome. All right, so where are we?
So right now we are in orbit of Kosara for our job. We are going to pick up some cargo.
All right. So nothing out of the ordinary while we were all nighty-night?
Nope, nothing out of the ordinary. Everything was good. No trouble, nothing broke. We're all set. Except you need to eat. So
Well,
I'm going to go prepare.
Yes.
Bye. She wrote bye.
I'm gonna go to my room, guys. I'll meet you up at the mess hall.
All right. I shut down all the cryopods and swing by my quarters and change, and then head to the mess hall.
I'm going to head to my quarters as well.
Okay. Ward, you got to the mess hall pretty quick, so you see Andromeda doing her thing. She's I see what you did there, Croker.
Go to the bridge. Gotta leave him up there.
Sorry, cable. Hey,
any corporate Andromeda?
just in time. She turns around. She's got a nice big tray, all steamy hot, ready to go. She sets it down on one of the tables for it, as well as a bowl of goop.
Ooh, my goop. Dip my cornbread in my goop.
If you close your eyes, it almost tastes good.
After checking in my quarters, I head to the mess hall as well.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we got a message that we are going to be picking up our new company rep.
Oh, okay. I hope this one works out a little better than the last one.
Yeah.
His name is Kato Swan, and he is waiting. He is awaiting us down on planet.
Well, I guess we should start heading down that way shortly. Finishing up my bowl of goop, my cornbread.
Well, what do we want to do about picking up this rep with having Imogen on board?
We could just leave Imogen behind.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later.
On that, yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope we can come up with something good.
That's the captain's for it. I tap you on the shoulder. And I walk out of the room, head towards the bridge.
I never said I was good with kids. Mine was just born before I left.
I go get myself strapped in my seat and start checking out the conditions for landing and all that.
I'm going to scarf down some cornbread and goop.
All right, and I'm going to cram the rest of my food and then head up to the bridge. and see if there's any messages or anything for me.
Okay. You're going to the bridge, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What
what do I see, Cable, when I walk through?
I'm just holding Steve and looking out over the planet. What's the conditions look like for landing?
Like, well,
Yeah,
it's
so-
Oh, go ahead.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Are you asking like what you see outside?
Yeah. Like what
Okay.
the conditions
Yeah.
look like. Usually, I can tell what conditions look like before I start to.
Yeah. Well, this place is it's a frozen planet, so it's gonna be very icy down there. So that means you're gonna probably hit a lot of turbulence going down. So
Gonna want to put your long johns on.
yeah, you're actually going to. You're gonna have a little bit more trouble getting down there than usual.
Where did Titanic used to sit? I'm going to strap Steve into
And
Titanic's.
we need to. We also got to remember to put on our masks before, if we have to land outside, if we're not landing inside a facility, because it's does have a thin atmosphere.
Hey, Captain. You have experience assisting in landings?
Yeah.
So does he have the pilot? I guess I'm asking, does he have the piloting skills? Is he going to give me a +1 for that?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so that's if not in trauma could help me, worst comes worst, but
I thought you were good. I didn't know that you needed help at this.
it looks really cold down there. I vote somebody wants to help me. If not, you may get dug up 1,000 years from now.
I could help, but I would not provide any help.
I have a piloting attribute, but
You have a point in it, at least?
Yeah.
One point.
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a point in
Yeah,
it.
you can assist me then.
all right then.
Is everybody strapped in?
Yes,
I'm ready.
Let's get strapped down.
I'm completely
And when you guys
strapped
look over
in.
where Titanic used to sit, Steve is strapped into the seat.
I love it.
I'm gonna say, Cable, remember when we land, if we have landed outside, don't just open the back door. All right, we need some. It's a thin atmosphere. I'd hate for us to all pass out on the bridge.
Steve, and I look over and I go, "Don't worry, Steve will take care of us." And I just go looking forward again.
Not the way it works.
Yeah, Steve doesn't need air. So what negative will I have for landing?
I'm gonna give you a. We'll just give you a -1.
No, that's not bad at all. That's
Yeah.
easy. That means I'm a +2
Don't
still
say
with
that.
his assistance. I know. I shouldn't say this out loud. Captain, are you ready for me to take us down?
Yeah, let's go ahead and touch down.
All right, everybody strapped in. Ward, you're strapped in.
I'm
Woo!
strapped in. It's so tight that I can hardly move.
Yeah, don't worry. This always goes well. And I start
I
to
know
bring
it
us.
does, but
I start to bring us down.
usually you don't ask for help.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Cruised into this sucker.
you go down, but I tell you, man, it's a ride as you're going down. I mean, you're hopping all over the place.
Yeah, Steve is bouncing up and down in the chair. I'm just like,
Yeah. Andromeda's loving it. But you do break through, and down below you see the colony. Hold on a second here.
Five is max out for a skill, though, right?
Yes, you can't go over 5. So this world, as you're coming down in, it's ice all over. Frozen. There's not much. It's pretty flat. You see a lot of black dust over the ice. And that's probably coming because of the mining and refining that this colony does. However, you're fortunate because you are directed to land into a hangar, so you will not be landing outside. And you get the clear to go in, and you pull in.
Oh, thank goodness. One less thing to worry about.
Do you guys remember how many days this whole thing was?
We never
I don't remember how many
calculated
parsecs it was. We didn't calculate.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be interesting for paydays and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the...
It was just from
Sorry,
Lumina,
on the map
Lumina to here, which I think it was only 1.5 parsecs.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I remember off the top of my head.
So like 18 days.
Whoops.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you were here, and now you're here. So yeah, it's about 18 days. We'll call that 18
That's
days.
perfect. So I gotta start getting some math back together.
There
And it's about noontime when you land on Kosara.
Start doing math. While you guys are doing all that, I'm gonna start doing some math.
When you do land, you do see there's 2 people out front waiting for you, as usual.
Hey, Captain,
right.
don't mind. I'm gonna stay here on the ship and get my logs updated.
No problem. I'm gonna go meet the welcoming committee.
I'm gonna head down there with you if that's good, Captain.
Yeah, let's go, Ward.
Okay, I'm gonna start prepping for cargo.
Yep.
Sounds
Andromeda, you do what you gotta do, okay?
Okay. She's gone.
Usually won't let me open up Halifax.
Okay, so you 2 are heading out.
I'm gonna log out and have in roll 20 real quick. Be a little glitchy.
Okay, so when you come out, you see a couple of gentlemen standing there, and one of them walks up to you and says, "Hey, welcome Halifax to Kosara. My name is Takita Aiko, and I represent the colony here, and this is Kato Swan. He is our company representative."
Hello, gentlemen. I'm Carson Glover, captain of the Halifax.
Welcome, Captain.
I'm Ward. I keep people patched up.
Very nice. Very nice. I am Kato Swan, your new company agent. I understand you guys have had a bumpy ride getting here, but you're well rested. Welcome to the dark side of hell. Let's get this loaded up and get out of here as quickly as possible. This is not a vacation destination you want to stick around at.
Yeah, it didn't look that way coming down, but we're all ready to take on the cargo.
Yeah, let's get that expedited and get on board, and you can show me around.
As you're
Sounds like a plan.
As you're talking, the cargo bays are coming down, opening, and Takita steps in and says, "Yeah, it's probably going to take a day to load, so you're probably going to be here till tomorrow. Fortunately for you, our administrative offices, mess hall, store, and barracks and med lab are all open to you. So feel free to make yourself at home as best you can. Just don't go outside unless you have to. It is cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wasn't looking forward to building any snowmen, so I appreciate your hospitality.
No problem. We'll probably get loading here shortly. Like I said, it will be probably finishing up sometime tomorrow morning.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
You guys eaten? Had coffee?
We just ate when we got out of hypersleep before we landed, but I'm always game for a cup of coffee.
Well, let's show you in the mess hall, and we can have a cup of coffee and tell you about the wonders that is Kasara.
Sounds good. Wardy game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not so much on the coffee, but...
I'll have his.
He usually does.
Real quick for upkeep, real quick, guys, just so you know, 4 paydays have occurred. Or technically will occur by tomorrow, so we should do 4 paydays so I can get an easy start.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to teach, besides Cato the only one won't get paid, but I don't know if you want to teach.
Me.
Yeah, sorry, my brain's not right. Dan, right?
Yeah.
Dan had to do pay, real quick.
Oh, it is your first pay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his first
It
pay.
is, man. Give me that money.
Payday. Okay, so under your bio, this is Cato. You're not getting paid yet, but
That's all right.
you
The
can
corporation takes care of it.
you can follow along here.
We're hoping.
Because you also have a salary, which will start kicking in now. Under your bio tab in your character sheet, you'll have a weekly salary.
Yeah,
You just
$5.25.
Yeah, you multiply that by what Cable tells you.
Yeah.
Was there anything such as a pay raise for, No.
You can always ask Kate.
It says the little voice from the ship.
Was group shares.
Yes, we do have group shares at the ship level as well as individual.
But everything's updated too, so we are good to go forward.
So I don't have a proper mess hall yet. I have to get one soon. So we'll just say it's going to be back here. We'll use that table for the mess hall.
Make my way back there for some of the planet's worst coffee.
All right, this is not a military installation, is it?
No, this is just a colony.
Okay.
Standard colony, yeah.
All right, Cato, is there a does the general store have books at all that you know of? Is there a small bookstore here?
If there's any books, I wouldn't expect the information to be terribly up to date. We very rarely get a supply ship through here. I'm not sure most of these miners can read, but you're welcome to take a look and see what the stock is.
Well, I will. Then I may swing by your medical facility, talk to whoever's in charge there.
Welcome to it.
So I'm just gonna wander away then.
All right.
just kind of see if I can find signs to follow around and.
It's a very grungy, frozen mining station.
Yeah, this place is there's nothing happening here. It's nothing special at all. And in fact, you all feel pretty claustrophobic in here.
I would expect there to be. I would expect there to be somebody that handles the medical stuff because there would definitely be injuries associated with mining expeditions. I would think.
I do have a med lab. Med lab's over here to the left.
Oh, I just wander around. And if I don't see a sign, I just kind of go through, peeking through doors, looking down hallways and corridors.
Gee,
Maybe I'll bump into somebody. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait. I don't know. Because I guess I got the impression that the place wasn't all that large from when we were landing. So,
Well, there are 700 colonists.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is large.
So there's actually quite a bit of
See that
people
now?
walking around and stuff like that, but everybody looks like they're busy. And you notice that the place too is covered with dust.
Yep.
Ambiance.
So well, as I'm walking around, I'm just asking people like, "Hey, where's a med lab? Where?"
That way.
All right, I just start heading that direction.
Okay, so you're heading to the med labs.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, I understand you're new here too.
Yes, just stationed on the Halifax. We spent a week at Lumina Station, and this is my first stop. Been on ships before, but this is the first one under my command.
You have no company agent on board, I understand?
Yeah, there was a bit of a complication with that.
That sounds complicated. I hope there's no complications with my tenure. I've heard rumblings of more than a few complications. So
yeah, there was a complication before I came aboard, and then another complication when I did. But yeah, let's hope that you have much better luck. I'm not superstitious, so I don't think that there's a curse or anything.
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. Sorry, old Earth joke.
You could say that. What about you?
I would enjoy I've been on the planet for way too long. I had a bumpy ride of my own and got stationed on this lovely planet, and I'm not even sure what they mine here, to be perfectly honest. So I've done all I can to catch the first thing moving out of here, and that happened to be you. So,
well,
I found out you had a vacancy for a company agent, and I'm your man.
Well, I can't promise you're going to have a whole lot of fun, but I can imagine it's probably a lot more fun than just sitting here on this frozen ball in space.
That's frozen ball in space, yeah, with frozen balls in space. It's not my ideal. I'm a warm weather company man. We have our directions. I'm happy to get off the rock and become part of the team.
Well, we're glad to have you, and we'll try to be as entertaining and as welcoming as possible. I don't know if we have anything warm and welcoming on the docket, but hopefully we get you there.
I assume you have an android on the crew as well?
We do. Her name's Andromeda. She makes a mean cornbread.
I would not eat the food here. They do not. They do not make a mean cornbread. I think what they feed us is potentially what they mine. So the coffee is drinkable, but I would not eat the food.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we have better coffee on board the ship.
Yeah.
As you two are talking, in that same time period, Ward, you find the med lab and you run into somebody looks like they're busy working on something at a desk. So she doesn't even know as you walk in.
All right, glancing around, their supplies, does it look like it's a pretty well stocked facility, or pretty sparse.
Things here, they actually look pretty well. Well, I mean, it looks decent. It's not too bad.
All right, I'm gonna kind of, give a big knock on the door and say, "Hello, is anyone here?" All right. I quietly walk up and just kind of stand in front of the person's desk and just wait.
After about a minute, she lifts her head up and turns around and she says, "Hi, can I help you?"
I was like, "Yes, I just came in with the Halifax. I'm their medic, so I always like to check in at the various facilities, see if there's anything that I can, anything that you're lacking that I can help you with, and likewise, may have a couple of questions to pry your brain. We've been in cryosleep for a long time, so."
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Ward.
Ward. My name is Maury.
Hey, Maury.
Feel free to pick my brain. I got a couple of supplies to trade too, if need be.
I think we're actually okay on supplies unless you've got something to help somebody really, really calm down.
We need that here. So yes, I've got plenty of stuff for that.
And have you ever had any? Well, given the work that you do here, do you ever encounter people that just seem to just mentally break?
Here, yes, It does happen.
Do you have any books that I can? We're going to be here for about a day. Do you have any books or anything that I could look at just to kind of bone up on that subject?
Yes, yeah. I don't have any books, but I have.
I mean, even any papers that you may have had access to, so I can just kind of get a frame of reference.
Well, when I say that, I mean I don't have physical books. I have digital copies, which I can give you.
Oh yeah, I'll be happy to trade for that or pay you for them. I mean,
oh no, you don't need to pay me for it. But I can have it. I can have it sent to. I can have it sent directly to Halifax for you if you'd like.
Oh yeah, I'd greatly appreciate that. In those files, do you have anything specifically on dealing with children that have had a traumatic experience?
Yes.
Yeah, specifically, that would be very good.
Yes. Yeah. Is there a problem?
Not so much a problem. It's just, we come across lots of people, and that's kind of a bit of a gap in my medical knowledge. I want to make sure that, I handle everything appropriately because you never want to cause damage.
As I say, we have a psychologist. I mean, this is a very isolated operation here, and as you can see, it's very dirty, it's very dark, it's very cold. So people have a hard time here.
So there is a psychologist on staff too?
We do have a psychologist, yes.
Can you send me their way?
Yeah, sure.
I have some questions for them as well.
Actually, I'll page her for you. Page her. Come on.
Give her a beep. 911.
And again, if there's anything I can do we've got some nap relief. Of course, I assume you've got probably stockpiles of that stuff.
We got plenty of nap relief.
Yeah.
But if you need something stronger, we've got that too.
Oh, yes.
Look,
yes.
we both work for Weyland-Yutani here. Just so I can be honest with you, we have strong stuff here. Weyland-Yutani turns a blind eye because they know how the operation is here. So You don't have to beat around the bush or anything. Just ask what you're looking for, and I'm pretty sure we've got it.
Yeah, I need something to help with physical strength. Given some of the things that I've encountered, having something to augment our strength a little bit, just even temporarily, would probably go a long ways with our crew.
Anything in mind? Are you talking like steroids or?
No, not something that is a long-term, kind of a short-term boost is what I'm looking at. We don't, the last thing we need is a bunch of a bunch of roid rage on this ship. As funny as that would be to see our pilot on that, but
You know what? I'll have to dig through my inventory and see if I have anything like that.
Yep, and I can't pay, so.
Okay. All right. In the meantime, I will see if I can find our psychologist. If you don't mind just having a seat.
Of course.
Okay. Cable, what are you up to?
I have updated my log, and I am just drinking on the ship.
Okay, so you're going to keep hanging out?
Yep.
For now? Okay. I'll come back to you in a little bit then. Okay, back to Carson and Cato.
Captain, I'm going through reviewing your inventory here, and is this accurate and up to date? Is this a full accounting of what you have on board?
Yeah, it should be accurate.
No surprises when I come on board.
Oh no, shouldn't be.
Now, is this? I've only met you and Bones there. Is this the full crew?
No, we have a pilot on board, Cable, who is an excellent pilot, and then Andromeda, who's our android.
Okay, and including myself, that's the full crew. That's full complement that's on board.
That is the full complement of the crew that is on board. Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have my corporate T's crossed and I's dotted.
I completely understand. So let me ask you, what do you do to actually get any enjoyment out of staying in this place?
They don't send you here for enjoyment. That's in fact, that's quite the opposite of how you end up on COSAR. These are most of these people are colonists that didn't make couldn't afford to buy their way into better assignments, and most of the staff are people who probably had better assignments and didn't do so well.
Gotcha.
So, as we have this limited station. Obviously, there's not a lot of outdoor activities. We tried ice fishing. That didn't work very well. 37 feet of ice on the lake. It's a little hard to get to the water. But they're pretty dry people here.
Wow.
You'll find there's dry in multiple ways. There's very little alcohol. We do have Weyland does turn a blind eye to a little bit of the narcotics that we have that people do recreationally to sleep or not sleep, whatever their choices may be. But otherwise, it's a pretty inhospitable place. I don't have a lot positive to say here. So the faster we can get off this asshole in space, the better off we're all going to be.
I gotta say, your blunt honesty is appreciated. Yeah, they said it's going to take a day. I don't think we can do anything.
It is. It may not always be appreciated, but I'm a pretty direct person. I don't believe in beating around the bush a lot. So I'm. Anything you need here, we can try to track it down. I believe the message I got here says your man found the med lab. So that's good. You're getting some information sent to the ship, which is interesting. But we can look into that at a later time. But
yeah,
otherwise, you're free to wander around. I wouldn't go outside. There is food served here, like I said, food. But otherwise, there's ping pong if you want recreation. But that's about it.
Okay, that sounds good. I think I'm going to head back on the ship and check in with the pilot and see, and check in with Andromeda and see how everything's working out.
That works. I've got some packing and some reporting to do, so I will head to my quarters and get those things taken care of.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon. And thanks for the coffee.
Absolutely. Best I can do.
And then I'll just get up and head to the ship.
All right. I'm going to stick with you here for a minute, Carson. So when you get in there, where are you going in the ship?
I am going to check. I'm just going to go try to find cable. So I guess to the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do find cable on the bridge.
My feet are up. And
Yeah.
I got the bottle in my right hand, and I'm just leaning back with Steve in left hand. My eyes are just
Cable,
closed.
what's up, buddy?
Oh, hey, Captain, how's it going?
It's going all right. This place is a shithole.
I always say that, but I've been on this ship for a long time.
No, not the ship, planet, and the station.
Oh, well, I think I'll stay here. I don't need to go on some AC planet,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be blowing my nose for a few hours to get all the dust out of there. Yeah, so we're being unloaded or loaded. There's not much to do here at all, so I guess just do whatever you want to do, take it easy, and
just making sure nobody else joins us like last time. Yeah, but dogs or something else on the ship. Keeping my eyes peeled, and I have my eyes closed. I'm just leaning back.
All right, man. Well, take it easy.
Thanks, Cap.
All right. I am going to.
How's the new company rep?
Well, I'll tell you this. He's pretty direct.
Well, I guess that's a good thing to have. So I shouldn't call him future victim 3, right? Because I feel like that's what our company rep situation's like.
Yeah. Well, you can try that. I'm not sure how I'll react to it, but it might be fun.
Well, cheers to that. And I just take one more little swig of it and just lean back and relax.
All right. Well, I'm headed out. And
cheers to you.
Cheers. And I'll go to my quarters.
All right. All right, guys, I'm juggling a couple things here right now, so bear with me.
Yep.
Okay, Ward, I'm going to come back to you.
Okay.
Let me... Okay, you as you're sitting there for a good few minutes, Maury comes back from one of her closets with some stuff. Okay. In her hands, and she says, I've got these X stems that might work for you. They'll enhance. They give you a little boost of energy for probably 5 to 10 hours.
That's perfect.
I'll bring it
That's
back,
perfect.
guys.
Do you have anything that would also enhance focus for that same amount of time?
Focus.
Or the ability to, kind of maybe be able to hear or see a little more efficiently.
Yes, I do have something for that.
And are they the same price or?
They are, and they have the same effect, except they. You're talking about the mind, right?
It says it just says the senses. So yeah. Yeah, so what I'm looking for is something that would help people, maybe be able to spot something or see something that they would normally have a hard time spotting.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep, I do have something for that. We'll call that X cents. There we go.
Okay.
X cents.
Okay,
that'll
and
give
I'm-
you a +1 to wits.
Okay.
The same amount of time.
Yep. And I start looking at it's in her hand, and I was like, do you happen to have 8 of both of these things, or is that gonna deplete your stash too much?
How many are you looking for?
8 of each.
8 of each. Yes, I can do that. Mm-hmm.
All right. And I pull out the money, and it is a big hit, but
Yep.
I fork over 8,000.
Okay. Everything looks good on my end.
Okay.
And just as she says that, someone walks in behind you, but doesn't say anything. Looks like when you turn around and look, it looks like she's just waiting for you to finish your business.
I quickly stuff this stuff in my pocket and just kind of look at her and then look back at the doctor.
Maury laughs at you. She says, "No. I told you, we're okay here."
This is one of the few places that I've been where this is okay, but
You don't know what this place is like.
I can imagine.
The other person behind you says, "Yeah, unfortunately, we have to deal with a lot of mental illness here. It's just a side effect of this place. So, hi, my name is Seki Risako. I am the psychologist here on Kosara."
Hey, so I didn't know if you would have some time to talk with me. I'm trying to make sure that I can parent appropriately.
Yeah, sure.
So
I can-
that's how the conversation would go. So
I can take you to my office and we can talk there.
Yep, that'll be good.
Okay.
And of course, I'll pay you for your service because we all have a job.
That's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay.
So I guess, yeah. When I get in there, I spill the beans about parenting and my daughter and all this stuff, and then start making up a story about I have a hard time dealing with people that have had a traumatic experience, and that's the kind of stuff I'm trying to work through. So
okay,
we don't have to RP all that, but that's
right
how it goes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, and we're gonna pause with you right there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take Carson out of there. Kato, that sounds good.
Sounds good. I've fully packed and moving my stuff to the bay.
So this is actually a good opportunity to explain this. So any kind of communications that you want to do, you should see under player communication, there should be a handout for you that says Kato Swan Communication.
Wait, oh, there we go. Yep.
If you can, I usually do kind of have like a standard template here. Let me just start it for you, just kind of give you an idea. Okay, if you open that up now, you should see see what I put there?
Yep.
So kind of use this as a way
Makes sense.
Communications
I like that.
and write it out how you would like an actual email or something like that, you know what I mean?
Will do.
And and I'll communicate back to you through that.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Well, he's doing that. Let me see. What's that, guys? Okay. Okay. Cable, what are you up to now?
What time of day do you think it is?
It is well afternoon.
I am going to go to the mess hall and get me some goop and see if there's any cornbread left from this morning.
Okay, so you're on the ship? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Carson, are you still in there with him?
I am in my quarters at the moment, but I do actually want to go try to find Ward.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull you out of Halifax and move Cable down to the mess hall. You do find cornbread. There is still some cornbread in there.
Goes really good with my liquor.
In fact, as you're sitting in there, Andromeda walks in.
Hey, Andromeda, how's it going?
All right. When you see her, she's covered in like a layer of dirt, dust, and like this black powder.
Andromeda, you need a shower.
This place is very dirty.
Yeah,
It's very-
well, it's getting. These ships don't get made like they used to.
These people. I mean, they're gonna get cancer.
What do you mean?
Breathing this stuff in all the time. They're not even wearing like any kind of protective breathing apparatus or anything.
Well, something will always get you in the end.
Okay.
Better than a bullet.
I don't know about that. Sounds like cancer is a very slow and painful death.
Well, keep making cornbread like this, and I'll die of a heart attack. It'll be a lot quicker.
Oh, just see? I like the way you think.
And I just hold my bottle up and,
So, and as you two are talking, she hears you, Carson, leaving. So Andromeda says to you, okay, what she said, I think that might be Carson. I'm going to go see what he's up to.
Sounds good. I'll be here if you need me.
Okay. So she runs out and she does catch up with you, Carson. She doesn't like bug you or anything. She kind of walks behind you.
Okay. I'll stop and turn around and be like, "Hey, Andromeda, what's up?"
Oh, hey. I'm just. Is it okay if I tag along?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go try to find Ward.
Okay. There's not really much I can do right now. There's, they're loading cargo and is the boring part.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Ward, and then I want to get Cable and everybody together because I just want to have a quick chat.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, cool.
And all right, Kato, is there anything you wanted to do?
Nothing on this God's forsaken rock. I'm ready to go to the cargo bay and have them show me to my quarters, and I can move my meager gear in.
Okay, so you want to start heading towards the ship?
Yes.
Okay, we'll say that as you bump into Carson and Andromeda coming the opposite way towards you.
So I have no idea who these people are, but
You know me.
noticing. Oh, Carson, there you go.
Yeah, you know Carson.
There we go. Captain,
Hey, Kato.
Did you find your way around appropriately?
I did. I'm actually headed out to find my my med guy Ward and just find out what he's up to. This is Andromeda, by the way. This is the another member of the ship's crew.
Ah, nice to meet you, Andromeda.
Hello.
You're I see you got acquainted with our station there. You have the dust of our people.
Yeah, this place is very, very dirty.
Yeah, it's I
normally don't mind dirt, but this place is just dirty.
With the rock they mined, when I first got here, I tried to make some efforts to get things squared up and spick and span, and the morale just was not up to that. So we live with what we have.
Okay.
But I would also like to catch up with your medical officer when we get on board there, Captain.
Yeah, we should be just back in a sec as soon as I can find him, and then we'll show you where you're shacking up.
Sounds good. I am ready to move my personal belongings aboard.
Sounds good.
Do you want me to take him, boss?
Yeah, sure. Throw him in an empty room.
Yeah, okay. I'll show you into the ship. But I'm not going to give you a tour. I'll let them do that. I'll just take you in.
Have you been
Sounds
with the
good.
crew long, Andromeda?
Me? Since yeah, about a year, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.
And your crew has been underway for a little over a year. Do I have that correct?
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
So you're the one that would know where all of the bodies are buried.
We don't talk about that.
We all have skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. So you want me to take you to the ship?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Andromeda. Cato, I'll see you in a little bit, and then he heads off.
Captain?
No problem. She's excited because she gets to use 2 thumbs again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, talking point. So, Cato, when you saw Andromeda, one of her arms, even though it's covered in dust and stuff like that, you can still tell. It looks, from your experience with, other androids and stuff, you can tell that it looks newer. So.
Noted.
Yep. Carson.
Looking for Ward.
No.
Looking for Ward.
I'm going to go back to Ward first. So, Ward, you have this deep conversation with this psychologist. Okay. So you had this deep, long conversation with psychologist. She gave some advice back to you.
Okay.
Guess at some point under the table, let me know what you wanted to get out of that, and
Okay, it will do.
I'll give you what I can.
Sure.
So she says, "Well, I hope that was helpful."
Very helpful. Very helpful.
Okay.
I'm gonna head on out. I'm sure my crew is wondering where I've headed off to. Usually, I'm not gone this long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's no problem. I'll be here. So if you need me, and I'll send you my contact info too to Halifax. So you can always contact.
Oh, that'd be
me if
great.
you need.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy your stay as best you can.
All right. Thanks. And I get up and walk out.
Okay. And where are you going to head to?
I'll head back to the welcome area because that's the only other place that I have been here.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot less of looking in windows and stuff because now I know where we're going.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll drag you out over here. As you walk out, you just so happen to run into Carson.
Hey, just talking with the medical people here. Seeing how nasty this place is, do you want to see if their supply store has any environmental protections of any kind, like maybe an ape suit or something? I would think that they might have to use that kind of thing on occasion here. Didn't know if you've headed that direction or not.
I have not. I'd like to actually huddle up with the crew and have a conversation. Cato is on his way onto the ship. Andromeda is showing him where his quarters will be. And I kind of think that, minus Cato, that maybe we should have a little bit up and have a conversation.
Okay.
So let's see if we can get Cable and Andromeda, and we can have a meeting in my quarters.
Okay. Well, I'll follow your lead then.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Go back to the ship. Cable is still in the mess hall.
Yep. I'm
We
asleep on the
are-
bench. I'm sleeping on one of the seats or bench. It's a bench, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bench.
Yeah. Let's say Andromeda and Kato are standing out by the cargo bays, and looks like they're just talking, and Andromeda is showing them around, the outside of the ship. While when Ward and Carson walk up, you see them and you head that way.
Okay. Oh, hey guys. Did you want to go ahead and we can go on board and show Kato where he's going to be checking up?
Sure.
Do it.
So where are we right now on the ship? We're outside.
You're outside, where the cargo bays, the doors are open. So,
Okay.
But you're right next to the entrance ramp to go in.
All right, and
Yeah.
I'm looking into the cargo bay doors, and is the filth of the station, is it really just getting into everything at this point?
Yes, it is. Andromeda does not look happy.
Fantastic.
I have double layered the filtration system in the cargo bay, so hopefully it won't get into the ship. But that's about the best I can do at this point.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for us.
Sure. I'm gonna if it's okay, I'm gonna see what else I can do over here.
All right. Yeah. Do me a favor and just stop by the mess hall in a little bit.
Oh, if you need me, I can come with you. That's no problem.
All right. Yeah. Let's just take a walk and show him to his room, and then I just wanted to ask a question, but we'll deal with that after we get him settled into his quarters.
Okay.
Just head this way, and I will take him up, and then head to the. We'll go up the left side when we get to the quarters.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you're going up into the top deck?
Yeah, we're gonna show him to where he's gonna stay in the quarters section, but stay to the left.
To the left side. Oh, right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you walk in, and you are down. Let's grab everybody here.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where who has what room where, but we'll stick him in an empty.
I don't think anybody has one on the left side.
Okay, well, we'll stick him in an empty one on the left.
Yeah, that's correct. Nobody's got one on the left side.
So it's your pick.
I'll go right in the center there. I do take note that it's rather isolated, and I have been herded to my room rather than shown to my room. I go inside to stow my belongings and wait quietly to see if the door is mag locked behind me.
And yes, yeah. So you're alone in your room now. These rooms are not big, so I mean you got like a wall cot and a desk and not much more in there.
And I'll say, just get settled in. I do recommend that if you are hungry, that you definitely stop by the mess hall and get some cornbread, because it probably will be the best thing that you've eaten in a very long time.
I will get settled in, and that will be my first stop.
Awesome. All right. Well,
I'm going to say, go ahead and change your clothes too. And I just kind of look around, and I guess I can see our footprints everywhere. I'm like, we don't
Is
need
there
to be
somewhere
breathing
I
this
can
anymore than we have to.
burn these? Is that?
Hey, you put it in a bag and throw it in the hallway, and we'll make sure it is taken care of.
Once we have some time, Doctor, I'd like a few minutes of your time to discuss the medical situation on board.
Sure, of course.
But nothing urgent. Take your time. I'll get unpacked. We'll get settled. We'll have plenty of time underway to discuss.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll see you in the mess hall. I'm definitely wanting some of that cornbread too. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Yep. I'm gonna swing by my quarters and actually change out of this nastiness. It's really getting to Ward now.
All right.
He's swinging. Yeah.
Happily changing out of my clothes and getting rid of the filth from this ridiculous rock.
All right.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Ward, you left?
I just went to change.
Okay. Yeah, Andromeda's just hanging out with you, Carson.
Yeah. So I'll just tell her to follow me, and then I'm going to swing over to Ward's quarters and just gingerly tell him to meet me in my quarters, and then take Andromeda into my quarters, and then call to Cable to get him to come to my quarters.
Okay.
And I am asleep on the mess hall bench.
Okay. So you didn't hear it.
Nope.
Right. I come out.
All right.
Where's Cable?
He's in the mess hall.
Sure, he didn't go back up to the bridge.
I'm not sure.
I tell you what, I'll run up these back staircases and then run through and see where he's at.
Okay.
And then, yep. And then I kind of point. Did you send that to Carson as well?
No. Was he over there?
Yeah, he swung by my room.
Yeah.
Yep, and I just kind of point.
I'm sending it. Sent.
Said, trip down the deck will be dual purpose. And I take off running. So I take off and I run, and I'm looking left and right.
Andromeda's still following you, Carson.
Yeah.
And I look in the med lab, come down the hallway. I look in storage. Everything copacetic in that storage one room.
I've changed clothes. I'm going to start fumbling my way to the mess hall.
Actually, Kato, hang out there for a second. Okay, Ward, what are you doing? You're heading
Ward's in a little bit of a panic mode. So I was running this path.
Okay.
Looking in different doors and stuff. So I look in storage, and is it everything I expect to see in storage?
Yes.
Okay.
Why can't I'm having an issue here. I can't drag my character out.
So I swing by and I look in the mess hall, and I guess I see Cable in there.
Laid across a bench.
Cable is sound asleep.
I run over to him and just start shaking him. Like, dude, wake up.
What's going on?
I'm gonna say, she's not in her room. We gotta find her.
Okay. I get up and I'm like stumbling. And I have to like catch myself on things as I'm kind of like
Are you drunk or are you just tired?
a little of both. And I just start going the other direction of you. I'm gonna go on my bridge. Go check.
So yeah, I run around that side, and then I'm checking the OBS room and the science lab, and then I stop and I think, and I run back up, and I run into the bridge, and then I look in the window for Mother.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, so I just
Where have you
I'm
checked?
sprinting out this as I'm running. I said, I've checked that other side where we came from. I'm running on this hall. If I don't see anything here, if you want to run on up, head towards cryo.
Okay, I'll go to cryo. I go down.
I'll run to the lower side of the ship, and
I check each of the
running down this way.
EVs as I run by. A little bleary-eyed.
I'm having an issue. I can't. Oh, there we go. Jeez.
And then I'm gonna go into cryo.
I'm having a technical issue.
And I'm just gonna kind of go look at each one.
All right.
I even stopped to take a look in the reactor room before I take the staircase down to the bottom.
As you walk out of your room, you look to your right, you see a child standing in the hallway.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Looking at you.
I turn
I'm
to
on
the
the bottom
child.
deck at this point.
I turn to the child and say, "You must be Imogen."
How do you know my name?
I know lots of things.
Who are you?
I'm the new company man.
Oh.
I replaced the last guy, Titanic. Maybe you remember that guy.
Titanic? No, I don't recall a Titanic.
Yeah. How about you? What are you doing on board?
Oh, I'm just. Well, it's kind of a complicated story, really.
That's okay. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time. I'm sure the captain can shed some light on it.
Yeah.
Should we go find the captain or maybe the doctor and see if somebody can show you to your room, and maybe we'll have a conversation from there. Why don't you take my hand and we'll go find a grown up for you.
Yeah, okay. K-Boss, I see you creeping up there,
Yep.
but you're.
I'll say
This is taking place while you guys were scrambling.
Yeah.
I was just having that technical issue there.
I'll go ahead and just.
However, Andromeda and Carson are able to hear the talking out in the hallway.
Carson shoots himself in the head with a gun.
Rewind.
All right. So Carson will walk out in the hallway.
Yeah, okay.
Captain,
And Andromeda's following.
how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I see you met our guest.
I did. This is Imogen, I understand.
It is. Imogen, did you meet Kato?
What was that?
Imogen, did you meet Kato?
I did. I mean, just now. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, he's the new gentleman like Titanic that's going to be a part of the ship's crew.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't think she knew Titanic, did she?
No, she didn't.
Oh, okay.
But Carson knew that. Carson doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know
That's true.
that. So why don't we? Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm a little hungry, but I kind of want to stop by and see Dog first.
Okay, Andromeda, would you do me a favor and take Imogen to go see Dog?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
Dog.
Yeah, that's our little mascot on the ship.
Oh, okay. We have mascots now.
He runs.
Interesting.
The Halifax does.
Yeah. And they leave. I'll let you two continue.
Which path
All
did
right.
you take? Which path did they take to storage?
Now,
Because this is the stairway I was coming up.
yeah, I would say you're there now, and Cable, you're probably down here now.
I mean, when they were coming, did they take the southern staircase or the northern?
Them?
Yeah.
She ran by them, so no. They came the way you are, so they passed through you, by you. Do you want to stop them?
I get. Who do I see run by?
You see Andromeda and Imogen together.
I say, oh, thank goodness you found her. Are we clear? And I'm so out of breath at this point. I can probably barely be understood.
You're telling Andromeda is like, yeah, I think so. I guess.
Okay. All right. Where's everybody else right now? Are they still up by the captain's quarters?
Well, Carson and Kato are up in the sleeping area, but I don't know where Cable is.
Okay. So I guess I walk a little slower now. Now that I believe that everything is fine.
Okay.
And come on up. Then start
Cable.
walking down my hallway.
Okay. I would stay there for now, Ward.
Okay.
Thinking time frame here. So
Sure.
Cable, probably a few more lines from them two, and you'll be inside. Where they are, Carson and Kato. So Carson and Kato, you guys continue.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, Captain, because you're new, but I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to give me a good reason not to go in my quarters here and call corporate and tell them about your stowaway there.
She's not a stowaway. She's a guest on this ship, my ship.
So now we take children guests on board.
Actually, I didn't take her on board, but I'm okay with her being here.
I'll walk through now.
Yes.
And just let me know when I'm within earshot.
Yep.
Captain, how are you?
Hey, Cable. Cable, this is Kato. Kato, this is Cable.
You must be the other crew member I've missed. That's you're quite the crewman. Is that must be the cornbread I smell? That can't be.
Yeah,
It smells like corn, but it's got to be the cornbread. Damn.
That's got a little cornbread mixed with some hard liquor. Can't go wrong with that.
All right, learning more every day.
Love to get to know your name. Love to get to know your name. And I kind of try to slip by, but it turns out getting to know you guys doesn't seem to mean a lot when you don't last as long as I always hope. And I pat you on the back as I walk by. I kind of keep looking around.
Pleasure to meet you.
Kind of checking into showers.
That's Cable. He enjoys his downtime.
It appears so. Quite a bit of downtime. And he's your pilot?
He certainly is. He's a damn good one too.
That's what I understand. So I've obviously before I came on board, I've done a little looking, which is why I expected Imogen. I know you had some trouble on Aeon. I'm a team player here. Corporate's the one who put me on this rock, so I don't know anything. I don't like to be kept in the dark on things. I'm a pretty straight guy, and I can cover for you guys with Yutani, but you gotta shoot straight with me too. And you've already, I already asked you the questions, and
Well, you asked me who was on my crew. She's not a part of my crew, per se.
That's fair. That's fair. That's taught me to ask the correct questions. I will note that.
I'm gonna assume I run into Ward as they're talking, and try to assume he's gonna tell me he found her.
Yep. I'll say I'll look around and say, hey, it's all good. Andromeda's got her. They're heading up towards the mess hall right now. And then I'll look inside of her room. Do I see? Has she decorated her room at all yet?
No.
No.
Well, I'm gonna go into my room. No, he says that.
Well, I'd close the door anyway.
I'm exhausted, so I just fall back down because I was like half drunk already, and then I just started.
And I come back and I bang on his door. I'm like, where is everybody?
Captain and Victim 3 is on the other side, by the other rooms.
Oh, okay. Wow. I just head on around there. Yep.
You catch him in mid-conversation.
Oh, doctor, just the man I was looking for.
Hey, what's up?
I would assume.
Still kind of out of breath.
Take a moment there, doctor. I think we're all getting acquainted here. Did you find what you're looking for?
I ran by the air scrubbers on the first deck there by the cargo bay. I might have to spend some time disinfecting those things.
That makes sense. It's a filthy station.
And now it's a filthy ship, so that's awesome. But it'll be better for your health that you're here.
Yeah, it does. It does vacuum up nicely. I'll say that it doesn't at least cling to everything other than your lungs. But I assume your guest there explains your questions to our med crew on station. Would that be the child psychology information you were looking for?
Well, Cable's not a child, but sometimes I just need better ways of dealing with.
He does seem to
me personally.
he does seem to have some unique ways of dealing with stress. So maybe.
I mean, he clings to his vices pretty hard at times. So
maybe
I figured that
maybe there's some medications that can help with that.
Yeah, agreed. So, I guess since everything is all buttoned up, all taken care of, is Captain's over there on the other side as well?
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Are we ready to head out of here then?
They're still getting loaded on the ship. We were just having a conversation. I was explaining about our guest, Imogen, and our mascot dog, and getting Cato acclimated with the ship. And
Ward is visibly kind of shocked. Imogen?
Yeah. Actually, Cato was already familiar with Imogen when he climbed on board here. We had a little miscommunication about a conversation we had earlier. I was just explaining that she's not a part of our crew. She's a guest here. And
yes.
I'm trying to get this man cornbread. But
hey, I'm all for eating. I think hopefully we've got all the secrets out of the way.
And I said, well, she's a scared little girl.
Yeah, that seemed to be the case. I have read some interesting things in her file before I came on board. So, yeah, maybe she does seem to be quite the interesting little girl.
Yeah, we can discuss that.
And Dog is
he's He's a cute little puppy. We'll introduce you.
Okay, no, dog confuses me too, so you're not the only one.
Okay, good. I'm all for some of this corn we've been going on about. All I've had is whatever they call that they feed us here. I wouldn't even call it slime. I think it's the thing they make chicken nuggets out of before they're chicken nuggets. So should we go to the mess hall and maybe?
Well, we do have some food in the mess hall that should be a little better than slop. So.
Yep, I'm gonna make a stop at my quarters real quick, and I'll meet you guys in the mess hall.
All right.
I'm gonna say, if we take these back staircase right here, we can actually swing by the med lab. I know you said you wanted to briefly chat. I don't know if you wanted to do that now.
I did. Yeah, now would be a good time for that before dinner.
All right, and I'd start stuttering. Like just follow me. Follow me.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
I say, okay, here's the med lab. We've got, pretty much what we need, I think. Of course, it'll be nice to have one of these pods that you can just put people in and heal them. But we can't afford that.
It's a very well-appointed lab. That's Dr. Ennett's ward. Is that correct?
Yes.
It looks like you run a very tight lab. So, as your captain
you
probably...
You see that stuff is still kind of pushed over to the side, and the equipment is still arranged like the last time that we had it. So it looks like there's a lot of equipment hanging off to the side that's turned to the person that was sitting in the seat there would not be able to see what was going on.
Interesting. From brief history I've read of the Halifax, sounds like your med lab has gotten some use in the last year.
Well, it's unfortunate that we didn't even get to use the med lab. Yeah. So they never even.
Being that two of my predecessors were involved, that doesn't give me a warm fuzzy.
Well, okay, not both of your predecessors, but because the last company agent that we had wound up, he was involved in some stuff that he shouldn't be, and he got himself arrested, and he's going to be in prison for a long time.
I understand he only had a very brief tenure. Is Imogen under your care, I assume, Doctor?
Yes, she is under my care. I am what you would kind of call, her babysitter at times.
Okay.
And honestly, since you now know about her, yes, that was the entire purpose of the visit with the psychologist. There was to better handle any kind of issues that arise from her from a child perspective.
Have there been issues with her on board?
There's no real issues, but she has undergone some traumatic experiences, and you always want to kind of be prepared.
That will happen. I understand. Aeon was quite the traumatic experience for everyone.
Yep. GM, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to pull to see what kind of knowledge he actually has. So that's why I'm kind of dancing a little bit.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to pry to
probing
kind of
each other for what knowledge we have and what knowledge we're willing to give up. And it's quite obvious that we both know more than either one of us is willing to admit.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, go for it.
I think we can be friends here, Doctor. I just I
have no problem with that.
The whole reason I'm here, to be honest, is to get off this rock. So I got no horse in this game. You guys be honest with me, and I'll be honest with you. Within the limits of our corporate responsibilities. Obviously, she was a bit of a shock, but I can't say it was wholly unexpected.
Well, she is under my protection right now, and I look right in his eyes when I say that.
That is reassuring. That is, I will note that accordingly, and she seems to be well taken care of. She has her own quarters, and she's here at the captain's discretion. I have,
and that's going to stay that way.
Fair enough. Should we proceed to the cornbread I keep hearing so much about?
Yeah. Unless there's anything else here in the med lab that you want to see, and my demeanor immediately changes once we get off of that subject.
I think I've seen what I need to see. I think a meal would be appropriate.
All right, cool. And I kind of pat him on the back and kind of usher him out of the med lab. And as we are walking past the storage, I kind of tap him on the shoulder and point in the window there. And I say,
when you do, Cato's right by you too, right?
Yep.
Is the top half open? Because we've determined that it's a split level door.
Yeah.
As in like a window, or as in like a farm door where it's
almost like almost like a farm door where the top half will swing out of the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. That makes sense.
As you do, you hear a brief scream, like a happy scream. And this, Katie, you see this huge, gigantic, ugly ass dog thing hop up onto the bottom half of the door.
This must be dog.
Yeah, this thing is absolutely ugly. The ugliest thing you've ever seen. I
start petting him and talking to him and saying, "This guy's okay. He's good. He's good.
Is this also under your care, Doctor?
No, he's under Andromeda's care.
Okay. Your android has a pet.
Which incidentally might be why he's still named Dog.
That tracks.
You hear Imogen giggling when you look behind, it's because Dog's tail is whacking her in the face and stuff like that. He's wagging his tail and stuff.
I have questions about waste disposal, but I'll wait until after dinner.
Sure.
The dog looks at Cato, confused, tilts his head over.
I reach gingerly to the dog to scratch it between its bulbous eyes.
It sniffs you and then looks at Ward.
And I reach over and I give Dog a good scratch as well, kind of trying to reaffirm.
And then turns back to Cato and licks your hand. And all is well there.
Hey, Imogen, did you get some food? Are you good?
All you do is
kind of lean over.
You just see her giggling and having. She's not paying any attention to you at all.
And I look over at Andromeda. I'm like, hey, you got this.
I'll get her. I'll bring her over once this calms down.
All right. Food time, company man.
So I assume when I walked in, Carson was already in the mess hall?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I walk in, because I get there before you guys get there, I just walk over and go, I need some coffee. And I go right to the coffee maker.
Did we actually repair the coffee maker?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I remembered that intentionally. And I guess get a cup of coffee and sit down and kind of like lean my head back a little bit.
Okay. You got some coffee. You look like hell. Cable.
Yeah, I being woke up so suddenly and having drank a little too much, sitting there all day, I'm just like my hair is all like tousled up from sleeping in different areas.
So yeah, you all are now in the mess hall together. Take it away.
Cato, I know that Cable here has made some coffee. Are you a coffee connoisseur or anything?
I am a coffee drinker. I have learned that if I can drink black bitter coffee, I can drink it anywhere in the universe, and that looks like a new-ish coffee pot. So
I'll tell you what. I got some special beans. I'll be right back.
And Carson will
I take off
Carson
running.
will clap him on the back and be like, "Wait, it's worth it. Wait for these beans."
Oh, you slapped him on the back. Okay.
Yeah.
So more. Okay, all right. I'll bring a whole handful. So I take off running and I stick my head into Andromeda.
Yeah.
And say, do we need to catch up? We need to catch up a little bit later, or is this an immediate need?
Very brief. I'll just brief you right now, real quick. And while that happens, we'll switch back to Cable, Cato, and Carson. So you guys can.
You got yourself settled in, Cato?
I'm getting that way. I hold out my empty coffee mug, and you wouldn't have a nip of the hair of the dog there, would you, mate?
And I realized, hold on, I think I left my bottle somewhere. And actually, if you look at your feet, that's probably where the bottle would be. Because when he woke me up, I was on the bench. I
pick up the 3/4 empty bottle of clear alcohol, pour 2 fingers in my empty coffee cup. I am getting settled in nicely. Crew seems very competent. Lots of interesting discoveries.
Carson will snatch up the cornbread and throw some in front of Cato.
Wow, hot food. That's amazing. That is some of the best cornbread I think I've ever had. Wow. I don't know that my body knows what to do with actual food. I've been eating space stuff for so long that
Yay! You hear that while you're talking.
Between the refreshments of our my new acquaintance Cable here and the cornbread, this is quite the welcome. I appreciate that.
Well, I want to, and I hold my mug of coffee up and say, "Well, I welcome you to the cursed ship. So, welcome to the crew."
Well, as body number 3, I will accept that welcome.
This is your way off. I didn't get to experience the planet before. I've heard.
There's still time. I can take you for a tour.
I'm good. Every time I leave a ship, something happens. So I'm just good sitting right here.
Hey, Andromeda has the scrubbers turned on pretty high, so I think she'd be upset if I open the doors again. But let's just say you're not missing much. If imagine the worst place you can think of and multiply that, and we're pretty close. But
Carson just blows his nose and holds out a tissue full of black and just says, "Yeah, that'll
happen. That'll happen.
Yeah. Well.
If you stay long enough, it just plugs up completely, kind of like concrete. I don't even blow it out anymore. I don't know. There's a weird lump, but I don't. That's not important.
I guess I run in at that point.
For you.
I run in and I hear, what weird lump? What are we talking about? I've got packs of coffee in my hand.
Sinus's captain was acclimating to the atmosphere. It's
Oh yeah,
not big, just a lump on the neck here. It's nothing. I'm sure it's fine. I'm just
Well, I'll be happy to take a look at it for you a little bit later on. But right now,
we'll get to it.
There's some stuff, and I'll look over and I grab the coffee pot. And anybody want any more of this swill? And without even them asking, I just walk over and I just pour it out and start putting the nice beans in the top of the coffee maker, and then sit it in it and put everything back together, and then go and sit down. I said, and now we wait.
So you got yourself all settled in your room?
As it is, it's it's small, but it's definitely better than what I've had the last few years. So it's quite nice, and I will say the smell of hot food and fresh coffee makes it feel like home already. Now, the faster we can get off this rock, the happier I am, and we can all get on with doing company business. Have you followed up on the cargo loading? Is that proceeding?
I leave that to Andromeda. I say just in case he looks at me.
I wasn't sure what you were doing on the ship all day while the crew was out, but
making sure nothing else goes on the ship that doesn't belong.
Yeah, you'd hate to have stowaways. That would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah,
and that happened.
I've been just kind of sitting back, watching the conversation. Say, she's not a stowaway, but I guess Dog was technically a stowaway, but he's fine now, so we're all good.
I kind of like whisper. I go, wait, does he know about Ixay?
We just immediately I smack your hand down and I just go, yes.
So he knows about the
Yeah, I smack your hand down again, and I go, yes.
I'm aware of the Ogday, Exaday, and the Ilche.
Hey, and I say kind of like across the table, I go,
okay.
I wanted in a very low voice, I wanted to leave the ticking time bomb on the last planet.
Oh, okay.
My head snaps over.
Is that coffee ready yet?
Oh yeah. On that note, there is some coffee. Like here you go. Here, try this out.
Ooh, good. More coffee? And I hold my cup out.
I pulled enough. I pulled enough for 3 cups.
I think I slipped a couple of bottles in my bag there on my way out, Cable. That I think you and I can have a chat later.
I always go for a good drink.
I think we'll become close friends. I might even have a few cigars in there if
as long as you're here and you're still breathing, I'm always good for a good drink with a friend.
So now we're smoking too.
Be careful with those cigars; they're illegal.
Wouldn't want to do anything illegal, like buy narcotics off of the med bay. I mean, we have to, here at Weyland, we follow the rules, don't we? Right? Is that?
I just just happily drink my coffee. Like,
you okay, Captain?
Is the coffee good?
You okay there? The coffee is excellent, sir.
I can't keep eye contact with Cato at this point.
Well done. The coffee is quite good.
I act like nothing's going on. I just drink coffee
when you said
normal. Like,
when you said special beans, I had my doubts, but this is definitely worth it. I'd like to know your source eventually.
Wait, you don't have a beans obsession, do you?
Gosh,
a beans obsession? No, I have a lot of other quirks, but not beans. I don't think.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank goodness. Yeah, I have to think back about where I got these from. It was. I mean, we're a long ways away.
That's you've been underway a long time with a lot of bumps along the way. I understand. So I can see where things would get confused. With picking up new guests and mascots and magic beans.
Yes, that's what you call it.
It's more more of a rescuing.
Spiders.
Imogen and Andromeda are just sitting in the back watching you all.
Spiders. Huh.
Oh, do you know anything about spiders?
At Lumina Station, we picked up a little toy spider for Imogen. She likes spiders.
So she's been with you since then, huh? Okay.
I step back behind Cato and I'm like,
huh. I think I'll have another cup of that coffee. This is great, enlightening conversation.
Well, it's getting late, guys, and I gotta go sleep off a hangover that I have already before I even gone to sleep. So
I'm gonna follow you, Cable. We can chat, man. Cool.
yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, you're right next to me in the room, and I like yawn and start heading towards the stairway.
And I'm right on his heels.
I'm fine. This is not nearly as drunk as I got at Elements.
That is quite the unique crew, Captain.
You're telling me.
You, as the new captain, you have quite the operation here. That you're.
Oh, and just so you know, I did take my 3/4 empty bottle with me. Just so you know.
I look forward to learning more in the coming days.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, Andromeda and Imogen both just kind of took all that in as well.
Andromeda, the food is excellent. I understand
Right?
you're responsible for that. Cornbread is chef's kiss amazing.
That's great because the Titanic, he really enjoyed the cornbread a lot too, and it made me very happy.
That's good. So I don't know that I know 100% what happened to Titanic. I heard you guys had a vacancy, and I guess from there I kind of rolled with filling that vacancy. I understand he's in jail. Was that what I took from that?
No, that was from the other guy.
The other guy was in jail.
Well, he's in jail now.
In jail now. Okay.
Yeah, he was a bad man.
Bad.
But yeah, Titanic and Helen, the previous captain, didn't make it out of Aeon Station.
Oh. I'm sure that's a sensitive subject, so I won't pry on that, but I'm sorry for the loss of your captain and the loss of my predecessor.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a traumatic experience for all involved.
It was.
And do you enjoy having a guest on board, Andromeda? 2 guests, I suppose, or a guest and a mascot?
Well, Dog, I kind of took Dog in. Yeah, we had at another at one of our jobs, we had a couple of wildlife, I guess you could say.
Oh.
Make their way into Halifax, and apparently they were looking for a pup. But the parents didn't survive, so I took Dog in, and I decided to train Dog. And that's what I do when everybody's sleeping.
Is train Dog.
Train Dog.
Okay. And is Dog well trained?
He's very well trained. Very.
Well, he seems to get along well with the guests. So between Dog and your medical officer, she seems very well cared for.
Absolutely.
That
you'll see.
I look forward to seeing. It has been an enlightening day.
Where's
conversation?
Ward? Andromeda towards the Imogen says, I don't know, you want to go find him? Yeah, I guess so. So they walk out.
Oh, hey. In the hallway?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll be back.
Yep. She sees you, Ward, and she says, I'm tired. It's getting dark. It's late now. Late in the day.
Oh, you want me to... I'll be happy to take you to your room if you would like. Been up and down these staircases enough times already.
Yes, please.
There's ladders. Sorry.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Imogen. I think I might have some candy in my bag for you if the doctor's okay with it. After dinner, after breakfast, whenever.
Yeah.
She's gonna. Let's let her sleep first.
Yeah, rest is important.
Yeah, rest is definitely important.
I don't know what candy is, but okay.
Oh, well, we can teach you that too.
And I know what it is, but I've never had it.
Well, that's a shame.
Okay, I'm tired.
All right, I will escort her to her room.
All right. You two go skipping
right
away.
There, if I'm not mistaken.
Andromeda goes into there. Check on the dog, get him settled for the night. And Kato. Okay, Cable, you're out, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right, so you're out for the night. Imogen's out for the night.
And I'm gonna park myself outside of Kato's quarters. Wait for him.
Oh, okay. Kato, you're free to do what you'd like until Carson gets back.
But not before the door trick.
Oh yeah,
Imogen's room.
Yep.
I'm gonna wander my way kind of around the deck, just kind of peeking in windows and things as I go, just orienting myself as I try to find the way back to the stairs that the frantic doctor led me to.
Okay. So you're gonna head which way? Here.
Actually, I'll go this way. I'll come from I'll go. Well, no, I only know the way to the stairs, so I'll come in the same way I went.
Oh, gotcha.
So I do notice the doctor lingering in the hallway.
Sitting on the floor. I'm sitting on the floor.
Sitting on the floor.
Sitting on the floor with my head against the wall because I've had to do this so many times. Are
you okay there, Wade?
Oh yeah. I was just thinking that we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. Imogen is well cared for here. I'm not sure where she would be at home for us to take her yet. We kind of haven't made up our mind on that yet. But until that happens, until we find a home for her, this is kind of trying to make this as good of a home as we can.
And may I inquire about her parents?
Well, it was a bit of a. Well, you said that we. Did I hear him say Aeon Station? Was I in the room when he said that? Yeah. Let's say so. What information do you have about what happened to Aeon Station? I mean that has out of game. That has since been quite a while back now. At this point, hasn't it?
Aeon Station?
Yeah.
Probably only a few weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was a few weeks back.
I've read the official reports. I've read the report that the report that the Halifax submitted. It definitely seemed to be lacking some clarity as far as what happened to the remaining crew.
And remind me what we actually reported. It's the unclassified logs, right? Yeah.
You didn't.
I understand there was the head of research and his droid there that had sent out a distress call. And I was led to believe that the head researcher had a daughter.
and I'm gonna say this Imogen was his daughter. Let's see. Did we GM, did we? I can't find what we actually reported back regarding Aeon Station. Looked in the classified logs.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. So, we never really said much about what happened there. Just that, we wound up losing a couple of crew members. We did rescue her from Aeon Station, as is probably pretty clear at this point. Have y'all heard anything from Aeon Station in the past? Maybe in the past week or so. I'm just interested at what the official report says happened there.
I'd have to check in and see what I'm at liberty to say. I know the reports I read, details were very sketchy. I believe the deaths were noted, but not many other activities. And from there, you were sent to Lumina Station for some R&R and some repairs and some
right.
rest from the trauma.
So it just listed the two of our two crewmates as deceased.
That is what your report listed.
I don't ever recall us actually reporting that.
Why wouldn't you report that, Doctor?
We were all in shock. I can tell you that for sure. We were in absolute shock, and when we were talking with Kate, I think Parker is her last name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we were talking with our contact Kate there, I guess she read the information from the Halifax itself that I had taken temporary command, and that we had lost our company rep. So that may have been where that information came from. I don't know.
Low losing your captain and your company rep at
it is
at the same time. That's quite I could see where you needed the R&R.
We spent quite the time decompressing, and I kind of smirk and kind of like.
Someday we'll enjoy some of Cable's extra corn, and maybe we can discuss what happened to your crew and pour some out for the homies, as they say back on the home planet.
Well, maybe we can pour some out more. Cable's his drinking is just it's starting to get to me as well. And I'm not much of a drinker. I like my alcohol, but I'm not. I don't want it to. I stay sober when I'm supposed to be sober.
Well, I hope that's the case for most of you. But we all deal with stress in our own ways.
Yeah, this is true. But when stress becomes an issue, that's where my job kicks in.
I will tell
have
you
issues with that.
Looking around the hall to make sure we're alone, I will tell you that between you and I, we can be confidants that Weyland did have some questions about Imogen and her potential location. I don't.
Why would they care about where? Weyland's a big company. Why would they care about where a little girl is?
I mean, when one of their employees' daughters goes missing, they're going to ask questions, and I get the impression she's a very special little girl. I don't know the details, but I think she's, my understanding is she's very unique. Now I don't feel the need now currently to report the situation. I think I'll wait till we get the lay of the land. We're all on the same team here. She seems very well cared for.
Yeah, and
but
I will say that we didn't kidnap her from that station. If that's kind of what's been running through your mind.
That is noted. That was the concern of mine. Can I ask?
It was a rescue mission, and I'm pretty sure the same thing that took out our captain took out her father as well.
Did you say the thing that took out the captain and her father? Is that
I kind of look at the floor. I kind of look at the floor and start kicking and say, "Well, yeah, there was something at Aeon Station. We don't know what it was, and that's what killed our. That's what killed our.
And
that's what took our people away from us.
Did you take care of this thing, or is it still on Aeon Station to your knowledge?
It would still be on Aeon Station if, and I think Ward is starting to panic at this point because he feels like he's just.
I can see the sweat coming down his forehead.
Yes.
As you're talking, Carson walks by.
Hey, Captain.
Interjects and just it's like, gentlemen, good evening. I think it's getting a little bit late. Isn't it time we get some shut eye before we head out tomorrow?
It is. I think that's a fine idea, Captain. I think we've had some good conversation for today.
Awesome. All right. Well, I hope that the bed's comfortable enough for you. It's probably better than what you got on this ship.
Absolutely. It's not covered in mining dust. I think it'll be like heaven.
And
excellent.
Ward seems back to his chipper self, and he's like, "Hey, and we'll look at that that thing in your neck."
Yeah. I look forward to looking at that thing. Talking more about that thing. You have a good evening,
and
Doctor.
You just see him completely. He's so conflicted at this point. He doesn't even know how to react.
Ward's gonna put his hand on. Carson's gonna put his hand on Ward's back and just kind of give him a couple pats as a reassurance, and then kind of push him into the direction that he is walking.
Okay. I was headed south. That's the direction I was headed.
You are headed south. All right.
I think everybody's gonna turn in. I taped up Imogen's door, so we should be able to tell if it's out for the night. I'm gonna head into. I'm gonna stop by. I'll stop by the showers and then I'm gonna head out.
All right. Well, nighty night, everyone. I'll see you in the morning.
Ward walks into the showers and turns on the cold water and just sits under the shower, fully clothed, and just sits. And after a bit, he can't handle it anymore. He just squishes across the hall into his room.
Okay.
Squishes.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yes, I left wet footprints all across the hall.
And I'm assuming at this point everybody's going to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't have a terminal in our room, do we? I think the captain's the only one that has that. Isn't that right?
You don't have access to Mother, no.
Okay.
Not in your room.
I wouldn't have been thinking about that anyway.
Yeah, you're able to call each other, but that's it. Okay. So everybody goes to sleep, has a good night's sleep, wakes up the next morning, nothing happens.
When I wake up, I realize that I fell asleep soaking wet. So I'm having to take my mattress is up, propped up against the wall. All the sheets are off and everything, and all that happy stuff.
Yep.
So.
Everybody can smell Andromeda's magic from the through the vents, so it's morning time.
Yep. My first stop is gonna be to check on Imogen, but I suppose it took me a few minutes to.
I'm walking out.
I'm gonna I take a shower and note on my way by the mess outside Ward's room and the tape on Imogen's door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's essentially what it is I put a little piece of tape up towards the top.
Sure, to see if she'd opened the door in the night.
Yeah.
And the doctor's wet belongings in the hallway. Just nodding knowingly, taking a shower, and then I'll use the back stairs again to make my way towards that delicious smell.
Yeah, and I get into the mess hall. And hey, Andromeda.
Oh, hey.
I'm a lot more chipper today. Get my crappy cup of coffee and some cornbread.
Yeah, you look better today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, leave me on this ship, man. On those planes just made me feel claustrophobic. So I think I was just getting a little, a little break.
Maybe you should go for a walk.
Now. Yeah, I don't know. I heard the plane was a great place to walk around. You said it causes cancer, so I definitely don't want to go walking.
What's that you say about cancer? Is that coffee I smell?
It is. Andromeda comes up to you with a.
And I almost have to I barely remember yesterday. I'm like,
Cato.
Oh, Cato.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had some. Things going on yesterday. A lot of stress.
A little bit of a rough day yesterday, but fresh cup of coffee and some cornbread start the morning, and I'm good to go. Got to fly the ship today.
Yeah, I maybe another cup of coffee would be good, and some cornbread or gruel to soak up the coffee.
Yeah. Did you sleep well?
I did. Slept like heaven. It was the first time it was not 20 below in my room, and I'm not breathing dust, and went to bed with a head full of startling revelations and a belly full of warm food. So quite the night.
It's the way to do it. I fell asleep. I don't remember any of it, so it's perfect.
That's how it should be.
I love Cable.
Carson's gonna check and see if everything is loaded on and they can leave.
Okay.
And I'm checking on Imogen.
To your surprise, she is awake.
But has her door been opened?
No.
All right, I'm knock on the door and say, "Hey, food time. You ready?"
Yeah, let's do it.
So, yeah.
She follows you.
Hall,
yep.
Up here. Straight in.
She follows. Carson, you're just going straight out?
Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure everything's loaded up and we can leave.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to cram some food, make sure Imogen is good, and then I'm going to head on up towards the bridge.
And I stay a little bit farther away from Imogen, and then I slip through the door and head towards the bridge too. See you on the bridge, Kato. Ready for takeoff. When you're ready, when everything's ready.
All right. And as we're walking through the door, I had to kind of, put my hand on his shoulder and it's like, "Hey, we had a good talk last night, didn't we?"
Yeah, that was good. You look a little better than you did when I left you last night.
No, I was talking to Cable.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was following him to the bridge.
Talked last night. Yeah, do much better. I definitely. I act like just played along.
And I look over and I say, so what'd you think about my suggestion?
We should do it. I think it's a great idea.
And I just kind of look around and my jaw kind of goes like this, and I go, all right. I will be happy to hold Wilson for you then.
Oh no! First of all, it's Steve.
Steve. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood when we said that. I'm sorry. I'm confused. Steve has to get strapped in. You know that.
Well, I think the idea is that
Steve
you were going to try to cut down a little bit on the alcohol.
Well, Steve's empty. Steve's empty bottle. He
I thought it stayed full.
Yeah, no, I keep Steve empty. You know, don't want to break good alcohol, but I'm good. I'll be good. Don't worry, I'm fine. I was chilling at a ship, got a little claustrophobic. We're good. We'll be fine. It'll be perfectly fine. I start looking at all the instruments and just start
and I kind of follow up beside him, and I just kind of lean over. I lean over on the instrument panel and I say, "You can talk to me. You know this, right?"
Don't worry. If I ever thought about crashing the ship, I'll tell you first. I pat him on the shoulder.
My eyebrows go up because, and you know that Ward is paranoid about taking off and landing.
And I tell him
that sends him into high alert.
Yeah, it's like the person who doesn't do well, like talk about like their feelings and just makes jokes. He's like, don't worry.
Yes, and Ward doesn't handle that well at all.
Oh. See this button right here, and I point to like a random button on the thing. I say, that's a self-destruct if I really get the urge. Sometimes, and I just, obviously,
like, all right. You know what? We're gonna schedule some time, and we're gonna have a heart to heart. Okay.
I'll bring the booze.
So we will. Let's chat right before we go into cryo again. Cool.
We're fine. I'm fine. You go sit down, strap it extra tight.
I'm just kind of, I kind of, you see a shiver go down my spine as I head over to check the panel for any messages.
All right. Carson comes on deck, says we're ready to roll. So let's get the hell out of here.
Probably should get everybody strapped in first.
Where's Cato? Shouldn't he be up here?
I'm still sitting with Imogen. I conspiratorially slip her a piece of butterscotch candy on my way out the door.
Carson will click the big button that talks to everybody on the ship and say, hey, we're ready to roll. Everybody get up here, get strapped in.
I still haven't gotten a full tour, so it takes me a few minutes of fumbling around to figure out exactly where I'm going, but most of these ships are laid out the same, so I.
And when you walk in the bridge, I go, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, and I go over to where the company rep usually sits, and I take the bottle that I have strapped in, put it in my pilot station,
and I'm strapped in, and I'm watching Cato as he walks in, and I do I see anything visible on your neck as you walk by?
I mean, it's kind of hard to hide the golf ball sized lump behind my ear, but
yeah. Okay, so you walk
I've
by
been on the planet so long, I don't notice it anymore.
And yeah, so as you walk past me, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna look at that.
Look at what now, Doctor?
Up, strap in. We're gonna get up in orbit.
I'm a bit anxious. Is there? You guys have medication on board for that? The pilot's okay, right? Like. You seem really.
The pilot is fine.
As you say that, you see he plays a bottle with a face drawn onto it with like a mustache and everything, like right next to me. Like,
is there anything I should know about that? Is that?
Steve. He's my co-pilot.
Oh, Steve. Oh, Well, I mean, I guess a lot of people have those bumper stickers. God is my co-pilot. You know, you've got an empty bottle of booze. All right. Very good.
I have someone when if I have somebody fly if I pass out.
Oh, if you pass out. Okay. At least it's not one of those blow-up dolls like that old. So this
tell from a laugh if it's like a joke or like serious.
The seat here that smells a bit like gin. That would be nice.
That was Titanic's old seat. I just gave it to Steve for a while. I can't let it happen to Steve, and I pat Steve on like the top of its head, bottle top.
I don't remember the whole Earth story, but didn't something tragic happen to Titanic? I don't know that bodes well.
If you say a red dot through the forehead, bad way to go. I just laugh. I look forward again. I click it.
Ward yells out.
I do notice that the doctor is profusely sweating again.
Yes.
I don't think I'm the only one that needs to be checked out here.
Well, I already sweat when we're lifting off, but
I strap myself firmly into the Titanic seat.
I look over at Ward. I put my hand finger hovers over that one button. I go, "Oh yeah, no, that one." And then when you I start pushing it, and it doesn't actually do anything. It just click. Yeah, just get by the wheel. Get ready to fly, take off.
Ward is not happy at all.
I'm a bit frightened.
He is a good pilot. He's done some really good things. I don't like liftoff and landing. Once we're weightless, I'm going, but yeah, getting there it's not fun.
Well, I saw his landing coming in, so I could see why you get a bit nervous about it. Hopefully, his takeoffs are a little smoother.
That was a good landing. It didn't crash. Captain, are you ready for takeoff?
Yep. Light the fires, kick the tires. Let's go.
Is Andromeda and Imogen or strapped tonight? Let's check on that. Make sure beforehand.
Yeah, but hey, Andromeda speaking. Ward, can you watch Imogen? I got to go close the cargo bays and close the ramp and all that stuff first.
The cargo bays stayed open all night?
Oh, they were loading.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. I took care of it.
Yep. So I guess Imogen, does she strap in on the bridge then?
She's standing there with Andromeda.
Okay, I was like, well, let's strap you right in here, and I put her on one of the back jump seats on the bridge.
Yep. Okay, I'll be back. She goes off,
and then I run back to my seat and buckle quickly.
Yeah. And then after a few minutes, she comes walking back in, jumps in her seat and straps in. She's like, "Okay, we are ready to go."
I would say, Andromeda, how bad was how bad are the cargo bays? Can we even tell what color the ship is supposed to be?
It's pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to do a deep clean.
Great. All right.
Captain, do you permission to take off?
Let's go.
And take us up out of orbit. Into orbit.
Yeah. The trip out is pretty rough. Again, lots of turbulence, but you make your way back out into orbit.
So, Captain, where's our next destination?
That's a great question.
Up 3.1.1.
I have my map pulled up. Let's go find where I put it on here.
Oh, I can pull the map up.
Yeah, let's pull the map up so we know where we're going. Hey. Whoever finds it first, let us know. I have a 5 request.
We're right.
We're headed to GL251.
Where are we?
Drezatis. We are headed towards GL251.
Okay. And where are we at? Look, I'm not seeing a ping on the map. It might just be
sorry.
too much.
We are
Right now you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I was seeing the ping. Wait, where are we going?
GL251.
That's in Outer Rim Territories West.
Sector 955.
Oh, I see it. It's right
Who
here.
wants to ping? There we go.
Right by Lumina Station.
Oh, that's a short jump.
Yeah, that's a short trip.
Yeah,
we're
we'll call
going
that.
from cold to cold.
No,
Yeah.
frozen to cold. Sounds a lot better.
We'll call that 1.5 parsecs.
So another
18
days. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Imogen and give her a thumbs up and be like, this one's a short trip. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Once we get to orbit, I go ahead, put Steve in my spot, and then head. Guess we're gonna eat before we already ate, so guess we're just going right to cryo.
Andromeda says, "Yeah, I think it'll be okay. You know, just as long as you take your hydration pills."
Oh, we
All right,
always
see you
take
there.
those.
I'll see you down there.
Yeah, I'll provide you with those. I'll take care of it.
Yep. You always bring them. with you, so I'm good.
Yep. So, Cato, you wanna head by the med lab real quick? I gotta pick up the hydration pills from med lab anyway.
Sure. I think I can find my way there.
No, I'll walk with you.
Ah, all right.
And when we walk, we'll walk down this hall this time. And I'll just give him kind of giving him the lay of the land. Like, there's a science lab. And I think, was it in storage 2? I think that's where Andromeda hangs out, if I'm not mistaken.
He's usually in 3.
Okay. Which is, she's usually in cargo bay 3. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, generally. Or her workshop.
All right. Oh, that's right, because we throw all of our, our weapons and suits and everything are all in the storage right there. So that's where they keep all that.
Okay.
So we're going to the med lab. And so if you want to, do you want me to take a look at that thing behind your ear real quick?
What thing?
The thing that you mentioned. You mentioned that you have a bump.
Oh, I talked about,
Yeah.
my sinuses. I mean, I mean, if you want to take a look at it, I guess it's.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm better off not knowing. I spent a lot of time on that rock. I don't want to know if I brought any souvenirs with me.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you're trustworthy, but I understand company men don't have the best history on board the Halifax.
Well,
I'm pretty sure Cable was measuring me for a body bag earlier, so I'm a little nervous about that. But
I'm gonna talk to Cable about that. All right. We all have our demons. We all have our inner demons that we fight with.
That's demons seem to be a problem.
All right, so I'm gonna tell him to pull on the tail, and I'm gonna start pulling out the scanners. I'll ask to draw some blood. I'll stash that for analysis a little bit later. I'm going to, when I look at it, I guess the first thing I wanted to do is I'm gonna take an X-ray because I know we have an X-ray machine. And
looks a little dusty and antique-ish, but you sure that thing's safe, Doc?
well, it shouldn't be too dusty. And I look up at the vents and I'm like, oh, there's air scrubs. Daggone it.
I apologize for the mess. That planet will do that to you.
Oh, I plan on. I'm gonna take some time and we're gonna work over this. we're gonna work on air scrubbers. We'll get this thing cleaned right up. So now I'm standing around. It's the same orientation that we used last time. So I'm running an X-ray.
And now all this is between you and me, Doc, right?
It's doctor-patient confidentiality, of course.
Confidentiality and all that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, like you said,
what happens in the med lab stays in the med lab. Yeah.
Okay. Keeping my space pants on, though. That's.
I have. There's no reason to. But I am doing a whole body scan.
I can't imagine being on that rock for 2 years did me any favors.
GM, am I finding anything or?
Cato, give me a survival roll.
Is that not opening? Should be under my character sheet, right?
Character sheet. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there. That's right. I gotta go in there to do it. Character sheet.
Or just click on survival and it should roll. It'll come up with a prompt that says add modifiers or something like that. Just keep it at 0.
Lay of the land here. Apologize for the delay.
No problem. Yes,
survival. Yes. There we go. Okay, add 0 and then submit. Okay. Well, that can't be good. that can't be positive.
Well,
you're dying.
You never want to see that in a landing.
Is it bad when my survival's 0, Doc? Is that a bad thing?
It was nice to meet you, Nate. We won't see you next game.
Yeah,
you're breathing. I mean, it's just.
And he just drops dead.
And into the airlock I go.
This is not a good start.
Wow.
So Ward is not laughing.
No.
At this point.
You do find a mass. And it will be...
Well, we can work.
We'll say
later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say it looks like it's in the throat area.
Okay.
Is there anything I should know, Doc? You seem to have gotten awfully quiet and nervous there.
Our lifestyles and employment choices often take a toll on our bodies physically. It's not a clean scan, but it may be something that we can work with. So I don't know that I don't definitely wouldn't panic because that's not going to do anybody any good here.
What? The guy who gave me my orientation to come on board said nobody's ever panicked on this crew. Okay, Doc. Okay.
Yeah, we just
knew I shouldn't have come in here.
So, no. I don't have the equipment here on this ship to treat this, but should we find the right location? Yeah, this is absolutely like I said. Remember when you first came in here and we were touring the med lab, and I said, it'd be really nice to have one of these auto dock pods to just get inside and just let it stitch us all back together again. Yeah, something like that would be would go well.
I will.
This isn't, like I said, this isn't. I don't think this is something that it may just be purely cosmetic. I can't. It doesn't look like it's anywhere else. It looks very, very localized. So,
well, let me know if there's anything I can attempt to requisition from corporate, and I will see what I can wrangle up. We all want to be in as good a health as space will allow.
I immediately say med bay. I think that's what it's called. No, the let's see. Med pod. I said I would love to have a med pod, but I think an autodoc could probably handle this. If I'm not mistaken, GM. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd settle for an autodoc. I mean,
An autodoc.
settle for an autodoc, but you know, if we wanted the Cadillac, it'd be a med pod, but we gotta have dreams. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I don't think this is anything that you should really be that worried about.
Okay, so I can
got you out of there.
I can keep drinking and smoking my cigars. That's what you're telling me.
In moderation.
Moderation is important.
In moderation. But yeah, definitely come to me if you're feeling bad or if you start to if you just start having bad thoughts or anything, come talk to me.
Oh, bad.
Right?
Bad thoughts, like that voice in my head telling me to. Yeah, don't worry about that. Not important right now.
Nope. Yep. So I mean, I think we're good. We're good to continue on. And
I'm glad I'm off that rock before it got any worse.
Okay.
That's I appreciate that. I think you and I are off to a good start.
Sure. And I open up the cabinet. I'm like, this is where I keep the hydration pills. Like, I'll go ahead and give you one. I'm gonna grab enough for myself and for everybody else. Like, I don't know how long it's been since you've been in cryo, but don't take this until right before you get in the pod.
Okay.
So,
I spit it out of my mouth.
So
you
we
guys,
can.
You guys keep me busy tonight.
So do you don't know where the cryo deck is? I want to. Oh, you do?
I do not.
Oh, you do not. All right. Well, I will walk you up there. Then I want to take a look at the air scrubbers right before we go into cryo. I have kind of a bad feeling about what they might look like. Especially all things considering, and I kind of look back at your chart and then but we're gonna get this taken care of. We're gonna get the air scrubbers taken care of, and everything's gonna be good.
I've been on planet for a while. Is there anything I should be aware of with going into cryo for this small jump? Okay.
No. It's not a problem. Whether it's a short jump or a long jump, we go to sleep and we wake up and we're there. No kids yelling, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" We wake up and yes, we're there.
Well, that's good. I mean, the cryopod puts the kid right to sleep. That's good to know.
Yeah, she doesn't like cryopods all that much. So let's try to talk it up as being not that big of a deal. Yeah, not that big of a deal. And we can we can talk one day about why she doesn't like that so much. Yeah.
Off we go.
Right. So I guess I drop them off at the cryo deck, and I hand everybody the pills, and say, "All right, y'all do your thing. I'm gonna run check on these air scrubbers. I got to make sure our air quality is gonna be good for us when we wake up." So then I'm gonna head off.
Andromeda jumps in before you even get to leave, and she says, "No, we're okay. I did double filtration while we were on planet, and we're fine."
So are you sure? Ward is very paranoid about it at this point.
No, I've already checked. We're fine.
Okay.
It's all contained.
Okay. If you can. Yep. I trust you.
It's my job.
We got to be able to trust each other, right? I just kind of look around at everybody.
Trust is important.
Yep.
Cable. Did Cable actually burp when he said yep?
No, that was real.
Oh.
I noticed the captain downing a cold one before the cryopod. Quite the crew.
Yeah, guys, we really don't need to be. I guess it's okay. The cryo will work it out of your system. Yeah, we'll be fine. I just kind of shrug.
All right, Andromeda starts to help everybody in.
All right, and as usual, I help Imogen and myself.
Okay. Everybody have a good sleep.
Nighty night.
In a couple weeks. And your pot's shut. And I need to make a couple rolls real quick. See, contact heavy. Okay. You guys can like talk out a game or whatever like that while I'm doing this because it takes me a couple minutes. I gotta do a couple checks.
Sure.
I am working on time frames anyway, so perfect.
Oh, I should mention there's a new mechanic I'm introducing, and I don't know if you noticed it on the job description. In notes for the end destination.
No, I didn't either.
You cannot resupply Halifax at this location. So if you remember, what that means is Halifax has a week worth of supplies, food, water, stuff like that, and you resupply that at every Halifax location that you go to. Well, not all facilities now are equipped to be able to do that. So this particular place, it's so small, and they're working with terraforming and stuff like that, they can't resupply you. So you're gonna have to keep track of your food supply.
Sure.
Or just your supplies. Whoever wants to do that, it's fine. You're automatically gonna have to check off when you arrive at this place, because you're gonna eat when you wake up and stuff like that. And then for each day you're there.
Okay, so it's one of the special meals per day. That's what that is.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And if you run out, then you have to go into your own supply.
You're supposed to have a supply there. Yep. Gotcha.
I'll leave it to whoever wants to do it. I already got the dates. I'm already doing paydays. I'm good.
I'll handle food then.
It's the accountant.
Not that tough.
Gotta have money to spend for my booze.
Okay, contact. Let's see here.
So we don't eat into our pantry until after the first day, is that right? Or after the first?
What's that?
So we resupplied at the last one.
Yes.
Then we
so right now you're full.
Okay.
When you arrive here, you'll automatically lose one.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then you'll
one
lose
per person, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just one tick for a day. So you got 7 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yep.
Unless the facility's mess hall is open, then you're okay. You won't lose for
gotcha.
Days there. Okay, I'm almost done. And we're almost done for the night. Okay. You wake up. Hatch is open. Andromeda's standing there. There's no alarms. There's no flashing lights or anything like that. Everything.
Are we there yet? I set up, and that's what I say. Are we there yet?
You're here. We are at Drazatus.
Okay, good. I used to have my parents used to tell me we're always here. We're always where we are. So I didn't know if you're being. I didn't know if that was your attempt at humor.
She kind of just like.
All right, water bottles around. Water bottles. I'm gonna say, Cato, this is very important. Drink this, chug it, and stretch and all that kind of stuff. Because if you don't, you're gonna regret it.
I do as I'm told.
I'm keeping an eye on Cable to make sure that he's drinking all of his water.
I drink all my water.
That's a good boy.
Do you guys
And
drink water
Captain knows
before
what
you
he's
start
doing.
drinking alcohol?
Captain's good.
Just so you guys know, 2 paydays occurred, so make sure you pay yourselves for 2 paydays.
You too, Kato. You're on payroll now.
Yeah, you're on payroll, so.
And
2 paid days, not 2 weeks. Correct.
2 paid. Well, it's 2 paid. 2 paid
Pays. Yeah, 2 pay periods.
Oh, okay. 2 pay periods. Okay, so it's actually 2 weeks then.
Mm-hmm.
It's been over 2 weeks, yeah. But technically, we're not on another payday, yeah, so we're. Yes, you get 2 paycheck. I'm gonna head to the mess hall, get my share of that food, of our stocks.
Yeah, Andromeda's already down there, and Imogen's just hanging out by you, Ward.
All right.
I'll go
Let's
down and meet the greeting party.
All right.
We haven't landed yet.
No, you're in.
I still gotta land us.
Oh, no, yeah, you're in orbit. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look over on there. Do I have to go to Mother to get my messages, or can I pull it up from any terminal?
To get your messages, you can. Yeah, you can get it from any terminal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull over to the terminal here on the cryo deck and check for my messages, because I know that I still have one.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's heading to the mess hall.
Yep.
Everybody eats, has a good meal. Everybody's good.
Yep, and then I head to the mess hall.
Yep, I finish up my meal.
I'm numb.
I'm gonna go to the bridge. Captain, I'm gonna go to the bridge and start looking at what we're dealing with for landing.
Sounds good.
Right.
When you when you get to the bridge there, Cable, this is another white planet, if you will. It looks like it's cold down there. I'm going to give you a -1 on this one as well.
Okay. Captain, will you be willing to assist me on landing?
Absolutely.
Whenever you're ready and get everybody on board.
I'm gonna run into Mother real quick.
When everybody's ready, I'll be ready to take us down.
I'm gonna say everything good.
All I
As
can
expected.
expect is I jumped off of one ice rock onto another ice rock. So
This was a little bit warmer, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I'll look over here and go, hey, look, we're right back for home for you.
yeah, I'm subtly checking the navigation system to make sure we didn't just land back on the same planet.
This was just cold. It's not frozen.
Yes.
Come back out, and I help Imogen get buckled in.
Yep. Actually, Andromeda's already got her in.
Yay! Y'all good?
Andromeda's kind of jumping in to help you out a little bit. So yeah, she says she's good. I'm ready. Andromeda
Lord,
says, I'm
buckle in.
ready.
This looks like it'll be a rough one.
Bleh, bleh, bleh.
So I jump over and I get real close to the side of him. I says, please don't joke about this. I can't handle this right now.
I just like shake the ship a little. I just shake the ship a little bit, like back and forth, the rocket.
Are the landings always this pleasant? Is that?
Oh, they get a lot more fun. Let's just hope the whole ship's with us when we get down to the ground. But don't worry, just to let you guys know, the ship will be on the ground at some point, no matter what happens.
No matter what.
Yeah, it's not the fall that kills you; it's hitting the ground.
But is everybody buckled in?
Yep.
Captain, are you ready for me to take it down?
Take her down.
You got it.
Woo.
Oh, squeaky by. This is a really rocky one going down.
Yeah, this is definitely a rocky one. Ward, give me a stamina check.
You got it.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
You throw up and pass out on the way down.
Gotcha.
I observed that with a slight bit of alarm that our doctor has now covered himself in vomit and passed out.
Yeah.
Then I go, perfect landing as I bring us down and like hit ground.
While the barely sober pilot is perfectly fine. That's
and the and Imogen and Andromeda are loving it. They just love this stuff. So, but you guys are definitely rocking and bouncing around. However, this place does have a hangar as well. So you park into a hangar and you see the welcome crew. And that is where we're going to stop tonight.